Good morning. My name's Kelly and I channel my spirit guides. And their big message is that we have a light body inside us. And they're kind of describing it as a portal to your higher self, this light body. And every chakra holds themes in your life that you can work on. And so I'm discovering that the third eye, the throat, the heart, and the womb are also their own individual portals. And I'm just learning as I go. I'll probably discover the other chakras, like obviously the root, it goes down into earth. It grounds us into our Mother Earth electrically. So when you walk around barefoot, they use the word biometric. You're biometrically communicating with your spiritual mother when you walk around barefoot. So it's not woo-woo, it's only woo-woo because science hasn't explained it yet. Science has limitations. Have people forgotten that science has limitations? Your imagination is far more powerful than science, but you've been told that it's just a playground for children, and that's not true. So healing your inner child is learning how to play with your imagination. So that's the mind control that we have to overcome. Being told life is a certain way. And the way that you overcome that, it's going to be a unique journey because your truth is unique to you. No one else can tell you what it is. You've got to be quiet and block out the world and meditate and go inside and go, what's my little playground? And then as you do that, you actually begin to call in your guidance when you do that. Because if you're quiet enough, you'll hear a different kind of voice. A quieter voice that's in your imagination that tells you how to find joy. And it's in your heart. Jesus would say it's in your heart. He channeled that a while back. I'll link it below. But that's kind of a summary of what I've been learning. And they were starting to mention that right before I was like, what am I going to channel about? So Rosalind and Jocelyn, I'm going to close my eyes and let you bring in more depth to this. Dear Kelly, you've come a long ways, haven't you? With exploring your own heart chakra, which is the portal to your higher self, along with your imagination. And what we were beginning to tell you is that in your third eye, as people are beginning to become aware of, there's a pineal gland, physically, a pineal gland. That's what your physical third eye is represented as. It's like a pine cone, which has themes to it. But it's also where DMT is created in your body. So that DMT, well, it's a magical elixir, much like a mushroom. And it's going to take you to a magical realm where things don't make sense. They actually do make sense to the non-physical beings who dwell in the realm where that magic exists. You don't believe in magic because you're on a slavery planet that's been manipulated by entities that are in service to self. And it's a thing. There's no reason to judge that. You've been taught to judge that so that you get stuck in a dual world, a world of duality where things are rubbing up against each other and fighting. So if people stop fighting and they learn how to cooperate, even though they have differences of opinion, they learn how to cooperate, then they learn how to flow and they learn how to create harmony. So humans on the planet right now who are in the matrix are listening to the conditioning and the programming that society has placed on them since birth. However, if we just go back 200 years, there was a different truth, there was a different story, there was a different type of programming going on the planet. And if you go back 500 years, there was a different type of programming. You go back 1,000, you go back 2,000, you go back 3,000, you go back 10,000, And all of the history, the further back you go, the harder it is to figure out because you're kind of, the way that the slavery planet was created is that your mind, instead of being expansive and open to magical realms, it's been slowly over time closed so that it's you can't access the DMT inside your third eye because you've been scared and traumatized by the programming of the elite, the deep state, Satan, the Anunnaki. You know what? I don't know. I just know that there's light, and then there are things that block the light. There are concepts, thought forms, people who coordinated with extraterrestrials who brought trauma to the earth, which was supposed to be a living library before that happened. There was every single species the galaxy could come up with. They put it on Earth. It's a very special planet. Yes, there are ETs out there that are non-physical, but Earth is a very special planet where non-physical and physical can both dwell, which is why you can't see the fairies, because they're in the fourth dimension. They can go in and out of physical reality. That's why you can't prove it. So science has its limitations. You can't prove things when the language that you're trying to use is limited. Okay? Science is just a communication of physical reality. That's all it is. It's limited. The magical realm is really where you want to spend your time. And people have told you that's for immaturity and all that. And just like this video I made the other day where they're like, we've been taught through history in our schools that anything in prehistory is archaic and just not important. Why? Junk DNA? Really? Really? The body. They've figured out the body, and they know that 90% of your DNA has no purpose at all. It's just a bunch of junk. It's literally called that. You've got to laugh at yourselves. You've got to be able to laugh at yourselves for listening to it all, because you're going to start realizing how much you were hoodwinked. Okay? And it's just going to be like, oh my God, I was so dumb to believe that. Why did I believe that? Well, you believed it because 90% of the people around you believed it. And they were very effective at separating children from the mothers so that the mothers couldn't impart the wisdom on the children. That's why school is a thing. That's why school's mandatory. That's why attendance is mandatory. They don't want the kids listening to the moms. Okay? And it's fine. You don't get wrapped up in getting angry about stuff. The minute you feel anger enter your body, or even like that's a trigger, the minute you feel the tension that comes with somebody approaching your belief system with something that doesn't feel good, okay, and it's confusing, it's not obvious, it just starts as an emotion. And so you've got to learn how to feel your emotions so that you're aware of when those negative emotions are approaching you, because someone's challenging your thought system in a way that feels uncomfortable. Either it makes you feel weak, or it makes you feel confused, or it makes you, you know, when you start feeling some sort of threat from what someone is saying, whether they're having a lot of emotion behind what they're saying, or if what they're saying doesn't resonate with you, or what they're saying is a direct threat to you. Okay? You've got to learn how to sit with the silence and just be with yourself, because you are an antenna to receive specifically. Actually, my friend said the ears are our antenna. Doesn't that make sense? And the ears are attached to the throat chakra. So the throat chakra is very important for your connection to the spirit realm. Which is probably why they hung us and cut off our heads. I mean, there's a lot to that. We could go deeper into that. But if you just start thinking this way, that your body was designed with divine intelligence, and there is no human on the planet that can explain it. If there is a human on the planet that can explain it, they're going to tell you how to discover it. They're not going to like tell you black and white, this is how it goes, because if they understand it, they've elevated to a frequency of non-judgment. And they've elevated to a frequency where they know that every single person on this planet has to find their heart for the truth. And so if they understand the truth, they're going to teach you how to listen to your heart for your truth, which is what Kelly's doing. I'm trying to tell you to listen to your heart, but this is how I'm doing it. I'm showing you why it makes sense to me. Why all of this makes sense to me, that we have a light body. It's our chakras. And it's how our emotions can communicate with the non-physical realm. it took Kelly a long time to get to the point of having like a conversation with her spirit guides. It took years and years and years of glimpses of an image, and then I don't know. I just don't know if this is real. But what really anchored it was when I would use my channeling to heal myself with my problems. And I'd start with a little problem. Actually, I would start with when I got angry, because I really wanted to stop getting angry, and I really wanted to understand why I was getting angry. So I'd go for a walk, and I learned how to do the shamanic journey. So I just used that walking. I just did the exact same thing during a shamanic journey, but I did it walking, and I started with a rattle, sitting, and then I would just walk in the forest, and I just trust the trees to raise my frequency so that I can hear my guides. So I just take 15 minutes, hopefully I'm 15 minutes to a forest, and I can walk for 15 minutes, and then the trees protect my environment so I can listen. And the first thing they do is they guide me to feel my body, and then they comment on how I'm feeling. And usually I had cortisol flooding through me because I was upset. So they go, oh, look at that. Wouldn't it feel good to take a deep breath right now? It helps. And then it just helps like a little bit, so I know that I have a lot more breathing. If I really wanted to bring that cortisol down further, I'd have to do a lot of breathing. And that's what the 15 minutes would do. It'd just be 15 minutes of breathing so that I could just bring my cortisol down. And then I'd go, okay, all right. I'm not mad, but I'm confused, and I understand why I got angry, but I don't understand if this happens again. How can I respond? What are the thoughts that will help me respond differently next time? And usually they would go, your kids are grumpy because you're not creating an environment for them to feel safe. And that was really hard to hear. But the only control we have as a parent over our kids' behavior is their environment. You cannot physically make them move their arm and leg and mouth. You can't make them sleep. You can't make them go to the bathroom. You can't make them do things. All you can do is create a relationship of trust with them so that they want to listen to you. And you create an organized, safe, peaceful environment for them to thrive in and explore, and they feel safe to be messy and to have feelings that are strong feelings. And then really what my goal now is to create a support network. So I'm calling in Soul Tribe that I trust to guide my kids and help me protect my kids and help me take care of my kids. And they've got me on this journey where in order to call in that soul tribe, I got to find people who are willing to accept that this is how I deal with my challenges in life, because I need all of us to be like-minded so that there's less conflict. So this is the foundation I'm building. I'm building a foundation of finding the like-minded people who understand this sort of wisdom so that we can demonstrate with our children what's possible to apply spirit guidance. And what I've found is that a lot of people don't know how to listen to it. So I guess I got to teach it. And I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for God to bring me the people and bring me the land and bring me the resources. And I know there's right and wrong, so I'm trying to follow the right path to do it. And they're telling me right now that in order to navigate and discern this reality, I actually need to tap into the magic inside my third eye that says the swirls in this water are dragons underneath this brae here, which is B-R-A-E. It's like a elevated land next to water. I'm sure it's Irish. And someone told me that spirals mean that there's dragons. And then I remembered, yeah, I did see a spiral in a creek once, and someone told me that was a fairy. So the spirals that we're seeing in the water is the magical realm. So as I'm clearing my third eye of the magical portal, I'm seeing it. I am seeing magic and miracles. And I'm opening up my heart chakra so I can see my past lives. And that's the heart chakra, is the portal to your higher self. And your higher self is the part of wisdom that can remember all of your past lives, because there are no blocks between those lives. I'm peeling away the blocks between my lives. In order to become my higher self, I can take the wisdom from that life and that life and that life. And so far, I've remembered the wisdom from a life as a Sufi, as a midwife / witch, as a nun, as a Lemurian. Somehow I was alive as an Essene, studying with Jesus. And I live on this land owned by some nuns that were descendants or lineage parallel with St. Francis. And then there's this St. Eugene, I've discovered, helped the nuns get over to America from France. And his patron saint day is August 10th. So my son's middle name is Eugene, and my daughter's birthday is August 1st, which is an 8-1, just like August 10th, 8-1. And so to me, those are synchronicities that I am, and I want to open an orphanage. I want to open orphanages. So St. Eugene was a patron saint of orphans and dysfunctional homes, literally broken, divorced homes. He's the patron saint. And I live on the property of the nuns who also take care of the poor. And they also opened St. Mary's Academy, where I went to high school, because they encourage the education of women. And there were women educated alongside Jesus. So the Essenes did not judge your gender. They educated both men and women. And they were doing it long before year 0, where history, began in school. History begins at 0 in school. Why? Because they want to keep us focused and distracted from the truth, which is before 0. The truth about the Mother, Father, God has been hidden. So it's an uncomfortable job for me to have to go up against people's belief systems, but they're brainwashed. And it's not my job to allow people to feel comfortable being brainwashed. My entire body. It's just like I come into people's presence and they see themselves. I don't know what it is about me, but people either really resist me and can't handle me, or they love me and they're drawn to me. So it's like, I'd just rather kind of not be around a lot of people. Okay, so be open to the magic. Everyone keeps telling me these swirls are from some sort of depth of the water and the tide. No, the tide is not going to make 1,000 tiny spirals. That doesn't happen. This is not true. Stop mansplaining me. You should listen for once. Anyway, thank you for listening. And I look forward to sharing what they say in person with people more. All right? And I wish many blessings on your day. Much love.